the viewers that it's a journey. And when you're intentional, you're being present.
Yes.
And adaptability, Jesus, that's the key to that's an important key in raising kids.
You need to.
Welcome to the Mom's Mental Oasis, the show that explores maternal mental health, motherhood, and parenting. We are all about nurturing, supporting, and educating because we know that when we know better, we do better. I am your host, Modern Makoti Ngobeni, and it is always a pleasure to have you back with me again. I hope that you have subscribed to our podcast channel on YouTube and Spotify, and that you've liked us on our page on Instagram called mummyspace_ for tips and more resources. So we're back, and I've had a very long week. My kids were sick and I ended up getting sick, but I still prepared and I was like, I'm going to have a good week. But today's episode, we are shifting the gear a bit and we are focusing on parenting. But most importantly, parenting with intention. I said it before, mamas, the theme of the year is intentional living. And with it, everything that we are doing, we are going to give it our level best to be present 100%. And one thing I can tell you is that when you start the parenting journey, which is what we're doing currently with our 3-year-old, it's a very different ball game. Like, it's very different. It's you managing your kids. And I know one thing for sure that I have learned and I've seen myself is that structure is an important element of parenting. And for structure, you need to have values. Values are an important element to have in your parenting journey. And all of us come from different families. Like what I'm learning now is that me and my partner are different people who were raised differently and we come with different values. And now we have to be matching what we feel like can contribute to our kids being good people in society who can be impactful. And we're taking those things that we feel like contributed to us being what we are today. And we're hoping that it can be passed on to them. The mom I'm having today, she is a mom that I've met through a sisterhood journey of mine. And she's actually a mom of 2. She's very dedicated to her beautiful kids. I really love how she shows her motherhood journey. I feel like she's a mom for me that, you know, there's a thing I like to say that your words speak through your action, and she's completely that. But what I love the most is how I'm seeing her traveling with her beautiful kids. And I felt like, today's episode should impact on that, as parenting purposely and setting values that we can use with our families through little activity. I think it's called family times we have with our kids. And I know that for me in my family, the values that really matter to me is honesty. And let me tell you, it's very hard to get a toddler to be honest, especially when they've done something. They're a very naughty person, but it's something I'm teaching her. And the second thing is accountability, to apologize. I apologize to my kids, guys. If I make a mistake, and I know, because I lose my temper. Like, I don't know a mom who doesn't lose her temper. I am one of those moms who lose her temper, but I do try to get better with it. And for me, showing her that apologizing is important contributes a lot to that. Then the other 2 are empathy and respect. So you can imagine how tough it is to instill this to a toddler who really lives in their own world. But I try, I really do. Though my husband says that I lose my temper. I spoke about this. I am working on it. But she's such a delightful individual. And my aim is to get her to be her fullest self but have that self-control. I don't want my child to be scared of her emotions, and I don't want her to be scared to be expressful. But I know that, you need to teach them respect in a way that they know they have to give. And I don't want her to know respect by age, but I want her to know respect by actions. And that's how I was raised. And that's what I'm aiming for her. So I did promise you that I'm going to make it a mission to get myself some guests. And I do have a guest today. She is an amazing and loving person that I've met through a sisterhood pageant. And, I like looking, I said this before, my favorite thing about people that I follow on social media is simple. I want to see that the life you are displaying to me actually reflects that. And she does. I love that about her. And that's why I felt like me having her to talk about parenting with a purpose is just perfect. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce to you guys to the beautiful Mathildah.
Thank you so much.
It's
an honor being here.
It's an just for you making time. I promise you, this lady is never at home. I feel like every time I go to your WhatsApp status, I'm like, where is she now? All the time, you're never at home. But you know what? It makes me think about how, a lot of times we've been told that as moms, everything is limited.
Yes. Nothing
can be beyond the rims of the environment of home. But you show that no, home is where you are with your kids.
Exactly.
Oh, please introduce yourself to the amazing viewers.
All right. So as she has already mentioned, I am Mathildah Ubisi, a 35-year-old married woman, as she has already alluded. I'm married to my wonderful husband, Mathildah Ubisi, and I have two beautiful daughters, Mikenzo and Muhluri, and currently based in Gauteng. I am a process engineer for a financial institution, and I volunteer in church as a Sunday school teacher. I love kids, and I'm so blessed because I'm raising them at home, and I also volunteer to teach them in church. So basically, in a nutshell, that is me. I hope maybe we will get to unfold a bit of who I am in our conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Like the perfect, this is who I am, the roles. I realized that a lot of times I wanted to actually define you with your work title. It's my thing. But then I realized that you have to define yourself, not me. Because I'm trying to be a feminist in my side, but I know feminism in traditional African style it's not really easy to do. Mm-hmm. But I still admire that you can, you put your role as a mom as a forefront of nurturing yourself, but you know that this is who I am in my journey. Yes. So I really love that. I hope you know that. You know what I also love is your daughter's relationship and bond. Her daughters are they close. And it made me wonder, have they always been like that?
So that's the thing. They have moments, even in a day, I promise you. They love each other. We know they love each other, but the way they fight, but it's so comforting because it's not like throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
But raising kids, they have to learn how to share. They have to learn how to listen to each other, give each other a chance and all that.
Yeah.
So there are moments where they will fight for things.
Yeah.
And then there are moments where they're just close and hugging each other, being sisters and all that. Very protective.
I know, I saw that the day when I went out to your event. But it makes me think that could it have been from the values that you have installed in them, and what are those values that got to that relationship for them to have?
Sure, that's a very good question. I would say that the important two values that I have and I am still instilling in them is, first of all, is respect.
Yeah.
So definitely respect, and respect one for God, right?
Yeah.
And then respect for the parents, which is us. So taking instruction from us and listening when we are, trying to teach them. And then also respecting each other, like as sisters, and respecting themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what we always aim to do. That yes, the age gap is 2 years, but give each other a chance. Listen to each other. Listen to what your sister is crying about or is asking for. So they learn to respect each other. And then the second one is also responsibility. Very important.
Listen, I saw with my own eyes. I'm like, Tills, you gotta give us some tips.
Shame. Yeah, no, responsibility. They are very responsible. I know with a recent lesson that we're teaching them is that, kids, they want to play. They take toys to the living room. Sometimes they bring it to my room.
Yeah.
So what we're teaching them, or the dad is instilling right now, is that because the 5-year-old is older, right? We don't always have to tell her, pick up after yourself. But the little one doesn't really comprehend it. But sometimes, yes, she complies. She pick up after her toys. So we're like, because you're the big sister, you need to teach her to be responsible. If you don't, then at the end of the day, you're gonna be the one who is picking up after your sister.
That's true.
So now they are responsible. At the end of the day, if the little sister doesn't want to comply, then they can always come to us and say, "Mommy or Daddy, she's not doing this." But we're trying to teach them to be responsible. Even right now, they just recently took up swimming. So I put their things in one bag.
Yeah.
I tell the sister, you are the one who's going to be responsible for making sure you're putting in one plastic, the wet stuff, making sure, yes, there are people who are helping them with dressing, preparing them to go back to school.
Yeah.
But just making sure your little sister is fine. It's not big things, but it's the little things, and it's a build up. Obviously, with age, we're adding responsibility for them.
Yes.
So, we are very intentional about that.
No, but you know what? As you're speaking now, I'm realizing that there's a difference within us when we're going through, because today when I was introducing our episode, I was saying that you do years in your journey of having kids. And the first one, you're very much in your nurturing mode. Because I know with my 3-year-old, we've shifted now from the nurturing one, we go into the parenting. But I guess to just give the viewers a bit of an idea about your kids, maybe you can explain when you had them and the age difference. Because 2 is a lot,
yeah.
It's not the same.
Okay, so the first one was born in 2019.
Yeah.
So that was 2 years after getting married. So yes, gave birth 2 years, and then she was the baby of the family. Obviously, as you're saying, nurturing, babying her in every little way. And then 2.5 years later, which was 2021, we had our little one right now, who is just turned 3 in November. Yeah. So now, yes, we are still babying her, but 3 years old, I think she's old enough now to now start learning all these important values and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then now we are instilling now the responsibility and the respect and all that for the bigger one, so that the little one also learns. But we're not leaving her behind, as I said, because she's already, I would say, old enough for that. So yeah, it's an age gap of 2.5. Yeah. But they're growing together, and it's been amazing. Very challenging.
I can't imagine. This is what I'm saying. How did you create that? Like, I need to know, because I've had a friend who had kids like the same gap, but they were always fighting.
Yeah. To be honest, I maybe for me, because it's girls, and my husband, let me give him the credit. He's the strict parent here. With me, I don't know what they call it. What do they call it when you are the parent who is the nicer one and who babies them?
The spoil. I don't know either, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so I'm that parent. Sometimes he has to talk me out of it. It's like, you're actually not doing a good thing, So he's very intentional about being strict, obviously to an extent, so that they know between wrong and right. So yeah, we are learning in
It's
the
a
process.
teamwork.
Yes,
It's a
it
teamwork.
is a teamwork.
Which makes me wonder, was there a specific moment that you and your husband decided, okay, this is the values we need to install in our kids? And what was that moment or an experience?
So I wouldn't say there was like a specific moment, but it is, when you're realizing that, okay, right now I'm going to be a parent.
Yeah.
And I think, one of the biggest one was when they started school, because we realized that, yes, we might try to teach them whatever we're trying in the house, but now we are exposing them to schools where they'll meet different kids. There's going to be different kinds of teachers or assistants and all that. So now it's not only about what we are teaching them at home, but also what the teachers are instilling in them or what they are learning through their friends.
Yeah.
So from then we had to be intentional, and our voices had to be louder than what they're going to get outside. So we knew that if we don't do it at home, then they are going to grab whatever that they get out there.
You know what? That's very actually an important thing. I feel like we moms, I always say this thing like this to moms, that during the first years of your child, especially when you're 4, you should be the biggest voice in your child's mind. They should hear nothing but good things from you. And hearing what you're saying actually emphasizes the importance of us as moms to make sure we play that part.
Yes.
But I want to also put out, husbands, did you hear? Please. It's a teamwork.
Yes.
It's a very much a teamwork. You know, I also love that you're traveling.
Yes.
You also motivated me to travel.
That's good. I'm happy.
Like, because I have, the last time I traveled, I think it was 2019, before COVID. And that was, after that year, we tried for my baby girl.
Yes.
And I haven't actually, well, I've traveled, but not to the extent that I used to do.
Yeah.
And I got like, I tried once with her. And it was like, yeah, do I really want to do this again?
Was it a lot of work?
It's just, oh my God. I don't know how to put it. My husband says I'm short-tempered with her, but I'm getting there. It's just, so it's the planning. Maybe you can be the voice of reasoning with me here. I just don't know when is the right time to start traveling with her, because I tried it when she was 1 year and 6 months. And it wasn't for me, it didn't feel like a good experience. I felt like I just went to another place just to look after her. So I don't know, when do you advise will be the perfect time for us to try again with them?
Okay, right now you said she's 3.
Now she's 3.
Okay, I think that is a good age. Because
Okay.
I have a 5-year-old. So the first time we traveled with her, like a big trip, was when my 5-year-old was 2 years old. So we went to Cape Town, flew with her.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think that was the right age. Yes, pictures and videos.
Yeah.
We thank God for that, because at least now she can look back and say, oh, I've been to this place.
Yeah.
But does she remember? She will tell you, Mom, I've never flown on an aeroplane. And we always show her the pictures and we're like, but we went with you. But she can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
She sees herself on the pictures, but she can't remember.
Okay.
So with my 3-year-old right now, yes, I don't know, maybe at 5 years if she'll remember, but I think she will.
Yeah.
Because now she has started school. I think she is learning. She is at an age of learning, right?
Okay.
So even when we go on vacation, we try to make it educational, be outside, ask them questions, even at the end of the day, check in. What did you like about today? Or what would you like to see tomorrow? Obviously with whatever that we're working with at that moment. If it's in the Kruger National Park, what animals did you see today? What are you hoping to see the next day? And what was exciting, just engage them to try maybe instill it in their heads as well, to say that they've learned about this and all that. So I think even the age of 3 is perfect.
It's a startup,
yes, because now they remember. As I said, when my daughter was 2, she can't even remember right now. It was not a waste, because it was memories even for us as parents.
Yeah.
But as well, she has the pictures to show. She has the videos to see herself running along the ocean and all that. So
those are memories.
Yes, those are great memories. I would say the age of 3
Okay.
And as well, how you prepare them is even when you're planning, involve them in the planning.
Oh.
Tell them what to expect even in this trip. Build up the excitement, build up that curiosity.
Okay.
So that when they get there, they are also present in that moment. They want to see this, what you saw probably when you were doing your research, what you told them about.
Yeah.
So I think you guys are at the right age.
No, but as you're talking, it made me realize kids are different. I don't know if you also have that experience with your 2 kids.
Definitely.
Because my firstborn, she is, I think it's will-spirited.
Yeah, will-spirited.
It is will-spirited, yes. Right? And the tough part is having to calm that down, but not losing it.
Oh.
See, right now I'm not there with her. I won't lie, I'm not there with her. And then the other one is just calm. So how do, for other parents, this is just something that just popped into my mind now, that how do you now know when to balance, when to say, okay, maybe this is not the right age for them together, especially if your firstborn is strong-willed like me. So what advice would you give? What preparation would you give to a parent for that?
For traveling?
Yes, when the personalities are very different. Should you start at 3 or look at how?
Yeah, I think definitely, because as you're saying, they are different. So you can't now say that this is a template and then I'm going to use it for all kids.
Okay.
I guess as a mother as well, you have that instinct to tell, would this be something interesting for my child? Would this be the right age for her to comprehend what's happening in her life? And as you're saying, both my kids are also different. My eldest is the calm one.
Oh, that makes so much sense. It really does.
And then, yes, my little one, oh my God.
Different game.
Oh my God. I'm like, okay, God, I hear you, because I know that I said I wanted a boy. And then this one, you expect that she is scared with her condition and all that, but she is out there. She's not scared of anything. She's one to say no. She'll tell you no. So yeah, even things they don't really like the same things. So it is the balancing. Maybe try to understand the kids as well. What is interesting for them? As you're saying, maybe for your kid right now, because she's strong-willed, she would be able to tell you, or you would be able to pick up if it's something interesting for her.
Yeah.
And then, don't even go there, at least at this age at this time.
Okay, no, I like what you're saying, because that is what I now realize. Okay, for now, because she started crèche finally.
Yes.
She's getting into the zone. But for now, I feel like traveling is a push for her. But I'm taking your advice. 3. The other one is 3.
Yeah. And again, with traveling, I think what's also important is that, yes, obviously when we think travel, we think maybe outside the province or even outside South Africa. And
yes, all that. I think that's most of the time.
Make it even the little things, like weekend things.
Yeah.
It can be like a day visit. Go to an area where you just go for that day.
Yeah.
I think maybe that will help as well, to see if that would be something that she'd be interested in.
Okay.
Let her go see animals somewhere around Gauteng, or let her go play games somewhere, and you see, okay, is this interesting?
Or not for her. No?
Yeah.
No, you're right, because my mistake, which I take full responsibility for, was I took her out too early. I took her to places too early, and every time we're there, she made me realize why I should just stay at home. But can you share a specific story where you were traveling and you were able to teach an important lesson to your girls?
Okay, if I had to think about it, that's a very good question. I think it happened recently.
Oh.
So last month we went to the Free State in Clarence.
Yeah.
With our kids. And then we had, as I said, we planned the day before. And one of the places we wanted to go was the Cathedral Cave.
Yeah.
One of the most beautiful, if you go on TikTok today, I think everyone who's been to Clarence will tell you about it. So we were like, that's the first thing we're doing.
Yeah, that's
the first thing we're doing. I don't think we had done proper research, right? I don't think we were so prepared. So, okay, anyway, first thing in the morning, we're hiking, we're going to the Cathedral Cave. We get to the national park.
Yeah.
Now I forgot the name of the national park, but it's one of the biggest in Free State. So we go there. And then they tell us that, okay, it's 190 per person. Great. But it is about 1.5 hours of hiking and about also 1.5 hours coming back. And that is not including the time that you're going to spend at the Cathedral Cave. And as well, that for you to have the full view, you might have to swim across, which obviously it's under the cave, so it's deep and all that. So it was kind of a disappointment because one, we're going with kids. Imagine 3 hours out there.
I'm calculating the time in my mind. I'm like, with kids.
Yes. So definitely it was a no. And as well, the kids were not really dressed for it. So it's the fact that we have to carry them throughout, hiking 3 hours with kids, carrying them. So because that day we had planned to do that and it never really got to happen, it was kind of like a disappointment and it ruined our plans, right? So we're like, okay, what's the next option? They were like, no, you can still hike up the place. It's quite huge. So there is a 70 Rand package. Just go and, so we're like, okay, fine. It's fine. Let's pay the 70 Rand. Let's just hike up. Oh my goodness. I kid you not. It was so amazing. What we saw there was so beautiful. Like I promise you, it was unexpected, but we got to find out by mistake this beautiful cave with waterfalls. The kids got to stand under the water and got, I would say, rained or showered by the water. Like they really enjoyed themselves. They dipped their feet on the natural waters. They got to drink from the natural spring. Like it was amazing. It was amazing. So, but the lesson that we learned from that day, which I kept on even talking to them about it, was just being present. Being present and even enjoying the unexpected. For me, that was so huge because I was like, in our heads, apparently I'm a type A who needs to plan everything from A to Z.
Oh my God.
But when it didn't happen, I was so amazed because we discovered something that we were not planning on, unexpected, right? And the fact that we were present in the moment, the kids are still talking about it today, how beautiful it was and how much they enjoyed themselves. So even with traveling, I know I'm a type A and I want to plan, but I still advocate for it. Being present. Take in whatever that you find that is unexpected. That's what builds the great memories, things to talk about. And, it teaches even the kids. So I would say that is a lesson I took.
And I feel like the other one that most of us actually have to start at getting into is being adaptable.
Yes.
When we parents, you need to be adaptable to changes, to schedule, to time. Like I don't know what happens when you're a parent, but time just flies.
Yes.
And you require a lot of adaptability. So when you're present, you are able to be, okay, I can adapt to this.
Yes.
Let me proceed.
Exactly. Oh, that's beautiful.
No, but because I'm also, I keep telling people, my other viewers, that it's a journey. And when you're intentional, you're being present.
Yes.
And adaptability, Jesus, that's the key to, that's an important key in raising kids.
You need to.
You really need to. And your story just highlights that completely. Oh, now I feel like, man, you can just take them kids, man. Take them kids.
It's wonderful.
But what is the challenge you face that's in your, the challenge that you have faced aligning your family's values with the outside world while you're traveling?
Sure. Okay. So I would say that, that's a good one again. You're just dropping them. But I would say that, I don't know if maybe I had to go back a little bit, is that in 2021, when we were blessed with our youngest, right?
Yeah.
She was born with a rare condition.
Okay.
Which is called fibular hemimelia.
Yeah.
Where it's a condition where a bone is missing on one of her legs. And causes it to be a bit shorter, not a bit shorter, shorter than the other one.
Okay.
So right now how she walks is she's tiptoeing.
Mm.
And some people haven't noticed it on pictures because you think that's the way she's standing, but you can see when she's standing.
Oh.
So definitely she's different.
Yeah.
She's different, she's special, she's unique. That I always tell her, that she was fearfully and wonderfully made by the image of God.
The inner voice.
Yes. So I always instill that, telling her how beautiful she is, how wonderful she is, how unique, how special she is, even in her condition, right?
Yeah.
And then, when you go out there, you meet kids, they get to see that, okay, you're a bit different.
Yeah.
And now she will come back and say, my leg is shorter, not in a bad way, because I think at 3-year-old, she doesn't she doesn't really see any bad thing about that, right? But it is things that obviously they're hearing from out there that, okay, your leg is shorter, the way you're standing, trying now to make her feel like there's something wrong with her.
Yeah.
But because we are intentional about constantly teaching her that no, there's nothing wrong with you. You are, yes, definitely different. So it's the little things that we teach, and because there is the outside world, there is the reality, we need to constantly enforce it so that it doesn't mess up with her mental wellness as well. To think that there is something wrong with her when there is definitely nothing
when she's
wrong.
Just an amazing little girl.
She is. So yeah, I would say that.
No, because I'm getting all emotional and necessary. But that's the thing. I know my family didn't get when I always tell my baby, oh, you're beautiful. You can say no.
Yes.
And she says no a lot. But the way she said it, there's a conviction in there. And that's what you have. When you're telling me all of this, it's just make me realize how powerful our words are to our kids. The conviction in our words grows that in them. And that's really, that's really beautiful. Sorry. Like sometimes we don't realize. Somebody was saying that sometimes I always want to give my child something that I know the world can't take away from.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing with her. And that's really beautiful. You're really giving them this experience of seeing the world. And I always say, I love seeing the world through the kids.
Yes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
I'm sure you traveling makes it even worse.
Sure. I promise you, even my 5-year-old right now, she will pick up a flower and say, this is so beautiful. I'm like, it's the little things. It's the little things. I remember even right now, we were taking pictures of butterflies. I was like, imagine a butterfly. Yes. Okay, we don't really have much, but when you out there in the bush, there in the safaris and all, yes, you get to see all these little things. And then they see this beauty.
I know.
And they appreciate the things that you're like, why is there a butterfly? Let's open the door so it flies out. But they see these things and they see the colors and they appreciate. And even right now, when we went away, we saw the rainbow. It was a big deal. With kids, it's like, okay, we just drove past. Yes, it was raining and then the sun. But with them,
I know, it's just, it's different.
It's so beautiful.
And which now makes me realize then what is your lasting what are you hoping to impact on your children when you're traveling with them?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one again. But I want them to be curious. I want them to be curious. I want them to have gratitude, because when you're out there, you get to experience the great, and also the sad. You get
the reality.
Yes. You get to appreciate what you have and what you also don't have. So I want them to learn. There's quite a lot as you said, adaptability. When you're out there, sometimes plans change.
They do.
You know? So I want them to think even outside the box. I find myself in here. What can I do differently? You know, so to make my experience better and all that. I want them to learn. I want them to love nature. I want them to love traveling. I want them to experience different people, different languages, different cultures. You know, even when we're out there, you know, with kids, they don't even have to know people or other little kids. They just make friendship on day one. She's like, you know? And it doesn't have to be the same skin color as us. It's every kid.
They're limited.
You know? Yes. They appreciate themselves, and then they also get to appreciate other kids. They learn from them. You know, just to open or broaden their perspective on life and all that. So those are the things that I'm hoping it teaches them, you know? And to
powerful.
Dream.
It's very powerful.
My 5-year-old was telling me, "Mommy, please take us to Disneyland."
Oh my God, you should.
I'm like, my daughter, I'm so grateful for the vote of confidence you have in me.
Listen, I'm pumping her to continue, because when I went to Disneyland, I was like, one day I'm going to come back with my kids. Yes. It's worth it.
Sure.
Like, but not now, but you know, one day when I do. But I love what you're saying, that building curiosity, because curiosity is a powerful tool for kids, especially when you want to promote school education.
Yes.
When you have curious, you're going to have that curious mind of wanting to do things, wanting to see things. Yes. How is that? How does that change? And that's very beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Listen, we can sit here and talk for years. Because as moms, there's never a stop.
No.
Our conversation never stops. So, it's impossible.
Especially when you're talking about the kids.
When you're talking about the kids. And to think you haven't even touched your career, you haven't touched the other stuff you do. But mommies, please follow Chills' amazing page on Instagram, Explore with Chills. It will just make you see the world differently. It will make you want... Every time I see them, I'm like, wait, this girl just doesn't want me to sit at home, right? But I always have something to close with for an episode. So I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
But I want to thank the viewers for sitting here with me and Mathildah, and for learning. But most importantly, I want us to always continue parenting with a purpose. Our kids need us. And if you sit down, if you're a mom or a dad, you sit down and you look at all the great people who are doing great things. They got a dad singing for them. They got a mom singing for them. So your voice is very powerful. How would you like to close for us, to the moms out there, when it comes to parenting with a purpose?
Sure. I would say that first thing, be intentional. Be intentional with your kids, everything that you would like out there. As Tireleto has said, that even just watching, you know, what you see on social media and you like it and you feel like this would be good for the kids, start there. Practice it with your kids. Plan ahead for your kids. Now they are at I would say, sensitive stage where you can instill anything at that age. So, just be intentional. Make sure that you instill those values at a young age, and you will see when they grow up, you're actually going to thank yourself. And right now, kids are still young. They're like sponges. It's the little things that we put into that sponge that they're going to take in, and then they're going to run with it. So I would say that do it with intention, and then allow the kids to be themselves. Yes, we have a picture of how we would like our kids to be, but it is not about us. Allow them to find themselves, and then nurture the different gifts that they have. You know, not all the kids will love traveling. Like, even with mine, right now it's about me. teaching them or wanting them to be, but they're going to find themselves. Yes, it might work that maybe in the future they might love it or not, but I'm also studying them. I'm learning in the process, and don't be too hard on yourself. As mommies, we have that tendency of being hard on ourselves. No, it's a trial and error. And then most importantly with me, yes, while teaching them or parenting with a purpose, I trust in God in everything. He leads my every step. I'm raising them in the things of God. So trusting in Him, He's going to show you. Kids are different, and then He's going to help you as well to parent them differently, but also showing them love. So I think for me, that is it. That is it.
Listen, parents, here's the advice: intentional living.
Yes.
Let them be themselves.
Yes.
These are not your copycats. I know. We like that. Trust me, I understand.
Yeah.
Just not end. Be compassionate towards yourself.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making time to be here and looking absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.